Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Today, we have two brand new stories for you. Another property fight awaits us in the first story, so get your snacks ready and be patient. It's gonna be hot. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Sorry, HOA, you approved the sale. When we bought our house, the largest in the hood and the original showcase home for the development, there was a shed in the backyard. The home sale was approved by the HOA and a letter of no violations was issued. All good, right? The home unfortunately came with scads of abandoned property. Within 24 hours of taking possession of our home, the former owners broke back in to remove what was now legally ours. I stopped at the security gate check to inquire about ensuring that the former owner's gate codes were inactivated and to keep an eye out for any attempt at continued entry into the gated hood. The guard assured me he would handle it, and I went on my way. That evening, the guard came to my home to give me additional info I might need and offered security cam footage for the police. I thanked him for taking the time to make me feel safe in my new home, but before he left, he said, "Just to warn you, the HOA will go after you for your shed. They want it gone." After a bit more discussion, he informed the former owners were not only backcrap crazy, but had gone toe-to-toe with the HOA over the shed. 3 years and lawyers all around, the HOA finally said, "F it, this is costing us too much money," and their lawyers better than ours and dropped the whole thing. Within 2 weeks, I had 2 different neighbors tell me the HOA would give me problems over the shed. Fun. At the 3-week mark, an inspector from the county showed up to tell me he was investigating an anonymous complaint about code violations in the shed, visible only if you stood on my property, was in violation with the county as there was no permit for it. I was livid and already considering what avenues I had to keep my shed or win compensation for the loss of property when the code enforcer smiled a devious smile at me, handed me a printout and said, "All you need to do is fill this out, pay $50 to the county, and you'll be in code compliance." He then said that Mr. Littleman Syndrome, the anonymous complainant, cannot touch your shed after that. The key here is that 4 years ago, when they were battling the former residents, the county did not permit sheds, and the bylaws say that additional property structures require permits. If there's no permit, the HOA can order the removal and fine the resident until it's gone. 2 years ago, the county started permitting sheds, and HOA was unaware of the change. I paid my $50 and got the permit, making my lady lair code compliant and untouchable by the HOA. I also made a new friend in code enforcement, and all's well in my 150 square foot slice of heaven. And our next story. My entitled aunt wants to switch houses, and so much worse. So this is the first of probably many stories of my mother's entitled sister. For the sake of her series, because there are many instances, I'll call her Jackie. This is going to be a lot of context before the main story, so please bear with me. Jackie's the middle sister, with my mom being the youngest of 3. My oldest aunt on my mom's side will be Maria, since she's a saint to put up with my entitled Aunt Jackie. So Maria, Jackie, and Mom. Maria was always the caring nurse, eldest sister, who took care of everyone. My mom was the youngest, who loved cheerleading and being the boss lady of a corporation before giving it up to be a stay-at-home mom for me and my sister. Aunt Jackie, on the other hand, she was the pretty, smart, and petty sister that always got all the boys in high school, but afterwards spiraled. She never tried hard. She didn't graduate from college until she got a social work degree at a community college. I pity the poor girls that had her as their overseer with how she just treated people in general. Her mental health took a nosedive as her looks apparently got worse after high school from her perspective. She got plenty of attention, but any positive relationship she ever had, she destroyed. As a kid, I knew there was something up with her since she always seemed negative or had something pitiful to say. She would snap at everyone and cry about how her life should have been better. She would also tell little me from 7 to 11 to give her my Christmas money before my Nana and Pop, my mom's parents, finally shut her down. She was living with my Nana and Pop from when she was 26 into her 50s before they finally had enough. She's always been a moocher and plays the victim in every situation, even if the story she's telling was never hers to begin with. Sorry for the long background of my Aunt Jackie. Her decisions and attitude are what cement her leech-like image in my brain. During the global crisis, I've been staying at home with my parents in our house. This 4-bedroom house has been with us since before I was born, almost 30 years, in a neighborhood that grew around it. The neighborhood would years later become an impressively expensive area with McMansions and golf courses as far as the eye can see. My parents have finally, as of this summer, paid off the mortgage of this impressive and amazing house, and I love living here with them. I pay them rent and water bills as well as food. I have a great room, and I'm not too far from my office and the store. Plus, I get a cook from my mom and dad for their opinions on my recipes. Win-win. My Aunt Jackie has her own 2-bedroom house and has for a couple of years now. Problem is, she doesn't take care of it herself. My mom has gone on more than one occasion to clean out the house for my aunt because she's physically disabled. Aunt Jackie only screams at Mom about what to do, like she's her slave, but refuses to help or praise her. I've wanted to go with Mom to act like a buffer, but she refuses, saying I'll just end up getting guilted or tricked. I've been pretty firm as of late, but I've been known to forgive things more readily than others would allow. So during the crisis, we haven't seen her, but have had phone conversations. Well, last weekend, my Aunt Jackie called my mom to check in. Jackie, hi. Haven't talked to you in a while. How are you? Mom, good. Everyone's been doing as well as can be during this time. That's nice. Now that vaccines are rolling out, it's going to be nice to see everyone again. She always leaves a pause after she says something to try and get more information out of people or make her voice sound weaker and more pitiful. Mom, yeah, we usually keep to ourselves, so we've been good so far with distancing. What are you looking forward to once everything goes back to normal? Well, I can't wait to come visit. My house has gotten so cluttered lately. I'm thinking of getting a bigger house for all my stuff. Really? Why don't you just get rid of some of the stuff you don't use instead? Selling houses are tough right now. Actually, I was hoping you'd just let me have your house. I have so much more stuff, and your house is so much nicer and cleaner than mine. Jackie, I already told you no. This is my house and my husband's house. Eventually, it'll be OP and her sister's house. I have no intention of selling it. Oh no, I don't want to buy your house. Just switch them with me. You and your husband can have my house, and OP can live with me over there. Mom, number one, what makes you think I'll let you have my house? And number two, why would OP be staying with you in my house? Well, you've had her long enough, don't you think? She makes all these amazing meals for you and helps around the house. I figure she can just keep it up, but for me. But she'll have to pay for the internet, electricity, water, etc. I mean, she has a job, and I only have my little old pension. And with your husband still working, he can pay off the mortgage for my house. Jackie continued with her delusional rant for a few minutes, with my mom looking at the receiver like it spewed fire at her. Finally, after a few minutes, Mom got angry enough to cut her off. Mom, you are not setting foot in my house, and you sure as hell are not going to use my daughter as slave labor. You are out of your GD mind. Good night, Jackie. And then hung up. My mom then had to pop open a bottle of red wine and told my dad and I everything said. While Mom was on the phone, Dad and I were eavesdropping from the other room, praying Mom wouldn't let her come. We were so relieved when Mom put her foot down. It turns out Jackie called Maria to complain about what Mom had said, spinning a sob story about how cruel of a little sister she was for not giving up her house and how she was going to be alone until she could rent an RV to go live with Aunt Maria. Suffice to say, Aunt Maria shut that idea down and told her to stop trying to force herself on other people at almost 67 years of age. Update. Okay, guys, this has just gotten more stupid. Crazy Jackie called my mom just a few minutes ago. It's not even 8 a.m. yet here. Sad about how last weekend went with their conversation. She was sorry about asking for the house. Instead, she's willing to settle for my room and I can take her house. Her reasoning? OP's thinking about getting her own place anyway. I can just transfer the mortgage to her. It'll be sad not to have her stay, but she needs to leave the nest sometime, right? Mom was simmering. Hasn't even had her coffee yet and said no. She's welcome to stay here until she saves enough for her own place. It'll be her decision, not yours. Mom put her on speaker and walked to my doorway as I'm working from home and my room's right next to hers. But she's old enough. She shouldn't be living with her parents at her age. She should just get a boyfriend and move out on her own. She looks right at me with my mouth hanging open. Mom, well, husband and I love having her here. She can get a boyfriend and move out whenever she feels comfortable, but that will not be dictated by you. Also, if she leaves, who's going to pay the water bill and groceries or make my favorite pizza? You? No, why would I be cooking when I'd be the guest? Well, OP pulls her weight around the house, is my tenant in the meantime, and saving for her first house, so I don't see why we should be bringing you in. After that, Mom starts walking back to the kitchen, and I get back to work. I didn't hear the rest, but my mom's half asleep, just brushing her off. That is until Jackie had the nerve to ask for us to renovate the garage to make her a room, since my living there probably saves them so much money, they'd be able to afford it. Mom just screamed, "You have a house, now live in it." Wow, just wow. Just give me your house and you can have mine and pay off the mortgage. Unbelievable. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.